Buenas noches. Good evening. Hope you're all well and in good spirits. I'm in vacation mode. I've been off yesterday, today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, go back to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday again. So it's been a cool month. I don't normally drink, but when it's not Chimay, it's a Mac Drizzle from the Altamont Brewing Company. These are pretty good. Anyways, today's topic is there's more than one way to skin a cat. I know that in the hyper masculine culture of the streets, only aggression is seen as respectable, but in analyses of the art of war by, intellectuals, if you will, they've analyzed that, when they talk about like Mao, that he was raised by his mom and had an overbearing dad. So he learned from his mom these passive aggressive ways of dealing with the dad that later on became strategies in his fight with the nationalists to, go on and take over China. Um, there's other people who are, uh, villainous people in history that ruled countries and almost ruled the world. And a lot of them did a lot of evil. But when you look at their family backgrounds, they also were, to a degree, mama's boys who learned how to navigate overbearing fathers. I won't say their names because it just like will automatically tarnish this video just because of the evil they went on to commit. Um, but in the art of war, sometimes it says the acme of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. And so you win the fight without ever having to fight. That's the best way to that shows you're talented at war. And so, not saying I'm talented at war, but this is the way I won a fight. And I don't think the person ever even knew we were fighting, but I had to get rid of him, and I got rid of him. And so here goes the story. So at the time, I was working at a convenience store slash pharmacy, and they were open 24 hours, and I had the graveyard shift. I came in at 11:30 and left like at 7, I think. And my job was to be a cashier and to face the store. Face the store meant I picked up after all of the Bebe's kids that came in there and tore shit up while their parents didn't pay attention to them. All the little mocosos that pulled toys off the racks and left them, on the floor. And so I think I have a good work ethic. So I got there and I was busting my ass to like face the store where it was even a game to me. I made the most of it and I would see how perfect I can get it. And there was an intrinsic reward there for me. I felt good for doing a good job, right? And then one day I heard the assistant store manager tell the store manager, who was like the main boss of the store, I give him this work to do overnight and he does it. And, really you should give them more work than they can do so they leave feeling bad that they didn't get everything done. And I thought, oh, this motherfucker's hella manipulative and trying to manipulate me so that I feel bad and he gets more work out of me. And I found that really offensive. And I told my homeboy that worked there, and he was like, oh, fuck them. Let's, fuck them. Let's go to war with them. And so, the first salvo in the war was that all the managers had gone golfing together, and they hung out together, right? And so they'd all gone golfing, and they took a group picture, and they're posing with their golf clubs on the golf course, and someone took down their picture and drew little devil's horns on them, little tails with an arrow on the end of it, and turned their golf clubs into pitchforks. And they were fucking pissed. And they put up a note in the room where, you know, the picture was taken down and defaced, that said, "Hey, you know, this is the cash counting room, and we have you on camera defacing our picture. So if you confess, you know, you won't get in as much trouble." And we're like, come on, man, this place is fucking hella racist towards us. They're condescending towards us. Their golden boy was this, like, this dude that was studying to be in the FBI. And he had a lemon car that he knew was a lemon. And he sold it to one of the poor Mexican dudes that worked there, and it broke down like almost immediately. And dude didn't really have money to fix it, so he tried to get it, you know, talk to the dude. Dude's like, "Hey man, a deal's a deal. You bought it as is." And this guy couldn't prove that the other guy knew it was a lemon, but he knew it was a lemon. And so the dude was struggling for buying this car. And legally, because, you know, the dude can't prove that he knew it was a lemon, the dude who sold the car was in the right. But morally, it was the wrong thing to do. Like, don't sell someone a car you know is going to break down without telling them that you know it's going to break down, right? And then that Mexican dude stole some string because he needed it to, like, I don't know what he needed it for. And then the dude that sold him the lemon told on him and got him fired. And he got all this praise and kudos for busting the dude. It was just kind of, it just seemed really, really wrong. And that was the culture there. So my homeboy, he always had a sense of resentment already. And so we're like, fuck it, we'll go to war with him, right? So the picture gets defaced. They put up the note telling us they got cameras in there and they seen us. And where the camera's supposed to be is, if you look up, there's like a mirror, and that mirror is supposed to be, you know, a one-way mirror where you look up and you see it, but the camera can look down and record what's going on in the room, because that's where the cashiers would cash out their receipts for the day, and they wanted to make sure nobody was putting money in their pocket. And so when we saw that, we knew they didn't have a camera. And so a letter was written, you know, "Fuck you and your camera. If you got it, just call us out and fire us." And it was taped over the mirror. And so they, you know, they're hella mad, but they can't prove it. And so they bring this dude in to crack me. And this dude comes in, and he's like a buff dude. He talks like with a deep baritone, and he was in the Marines, and he's just this tough guy, and he's there to crack me. That's why they brought him there. Like, people that were cool with the management and cool with the regular folks. You know, mostly it was women in that position that were cool with them and cool with us, that would tell me, yeah, they brought him in. They're talking about he's there to crack you. So the dude comes in and he's on me. And while he's on me, I'm busting my ass. I'm trying to be the best employee and not give him any room to sweat me while I figure him out. And so as time goes on, you know, I just start seeing little cracks that tell me, man, this fool's a dope fiend. He's lazy. You know, he's going to be his own worst enemy. And I start to notice that every day around 3 a.m, he would go in the office and say, "Hey, I'm gonna be in there counting money, so don't go in there." And really, he would take a nap, and then he would wake up like at 6, which is maybe an hour before his boss came in, the store manager, to see what the store was like. And I'm like, all right, that's where I got him. If he's going to go to sleep every day, that's my opportunity to get him. So, boom, he goes to sleep. And then I've been busting my ass while he was awake watching me straightening up the store. But when he went to sleep, now I'm walking along, knocking things down, uh, just wiping shelves onto the floor, putting things in the wrong places, bullshitting with people that come in, kicking it. Sometimes my friends would come in and they would be tearing shit up, and I wouldn't say anything to them because they know what's going on, right? And some of them worked there. They would just come out to chill with me, and I love them for that, man. For a motherfucker to come hang out with you from 2 to 5 in the morning just because you know they're looking out for you having to work there alone at night and shit. That was pretty cool. But they would tear shit up. They'd go open wrappers and leave them on the floor. The security guard, he was like a broke old white dude. I'd be like, man, go ahead and eat, man. I don't give a fuck. And he would eat and leave a mess. And then this fool would wake up and the store's a mess and he would panic. And then his boss would show up and started to notice that when this guy is working, the store's a mess. And I didn't work every night with him. I worked 2 nights with this other dude who was he was a company dude. But I guess he was okay. Hella nerdy with like this crazy gorgeous like wife from Thailand or something. And she was like always flirting with everybody. Yeah, it was crazy. But anyways, what happened is he would go to sleep and I would start to undo all my work and make the store a mess. He'd wake up and want to bust our asses to fix it up, but it wasn't enough. And he would get in trouble because the store was a mess. When I worked with the other manager, I would bust my ass to make the store look twice as good as I normally would with a good work ethic because I was trying to make the impression in the store manager that this guy is not doing his job because the store looks messy when he comes in after this guy's been working, and when this other guy works, it looks good. And I had enough allies amongst the other workers that they would help me with this and be like, all right, if I'm working with him and when he goes to sleep, I'll fuck the store up too and knock stuff up and make it look messy and in the wrong place so that the main store manager gets mad. And sure enough, dude didn't make probation. They fired him. And the day he got fired, we found out that he went to a bar up the street, got drunk, and then got a DUI. And he came in to crack me. He was really arrogant. If like pretty women came in, he would go over there and try to like hit on them and then try to boss me around to act like he was a big shot. So there was a lot of character flaws there with him. And, he did seem like a dope fiend. And I think, yeah, he wasn't cool. And I had to get rid of him. And I know that in our culture, a lot of the times, folks only see one way to deal with that, and often that involves violence. And when it involves violence, you can, run a high risk of, you might as well dig 2 graves, one for you as well, because you don't know where that's going to lead. But this way, I don't think he ever even knew what happened to him. I never had to go complain about him. I never had to say anything about him. I just changed how I applied myself and used his own weakness against him to my advantage. And that was that he was lazy. He was just a lazy dude, and he'd go take his naps, and he would make a show of working and would rather be pretending to be something. And, if you've ever taken like any kind of martial arts, they'll a lot of times teach you to use the other person's momentum and weight to your advantage. So if they come at you, you know, instead of resisting it, you try to just divert it into another direction that works to your benefit. And on some level, that's what this was. Some people might think it was sneaky and it'd be more G or whatever to just have smashed him. Truth is, he probably could have beat me up. But the other thing is that I had kids to take care of, kids to support. I was going to school, and I was trying to make something of my life, and it just wasn't worth that kind of issues. But in order for me to be comfortable, he didn't need to be there no more, and he's gone. And you know, not long after that, I went to a better job, anyways. But the purpose is, there's more than one way to skin a cat, and you don't always have to skin a cat in a way that can be detrimental to your own freedom and your ability to provide for your family. That said, I hope you have a good day and you enjoyed this lesson. Much love.